All right, in this next matchup, Texas A&M travels to Auburn to take on the Tigers. The FPI index gives Auburn the slight advantage of 53.1% win probability. Now, Texas A&M comes in favored by 7 points, so you can see there is a little bit of disconnect between the FPI index and where our friends in Las Vegas has set this number and seen it bet up from the opening of 3.5. Auburn is down two offensive linemen. Both of their starting tackles will be out for this ball game. That's going to be very significant in this ball game. But also the health of Tank Bigsby, who went out 2 weeks ago with a hip corner. You saw him try to give it a go last week in the Iron Bowl against Alabama. As I said on my podcast, because it was the Iron Bowl, I fully expected that young man to try to gut out a performance, but you could see from the first couple of carries that he was not completely healthy. Hopefully, another week of rest gets him back closer to 100%, and he's going to need to be that against Texas A&M. On the opposite side, Kellen Mond showed us flashes of brilliance. He's also showed us he is still a vastly inconsistent quarterback. Last week against LSU at home, Kellen Mond completed 11 passes on 34 attempts for 105 yards. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's for the ball game. That's not for a quarter or even a half. For Texas A&M to win this ball game, they're going to need a huge effort from running back Isaiah Spiller, who on the season has 130 carries, 784 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And really, his 50-plus yard touchdown run against LSU was the deciding factor in Texas A&M winning that ball game. Getting a late pick six kind of iced it for the Aggies in that ball game. So watch the health of Tank Bigsby from either us here at Crunch Time Sports or different outlets that will have updates for you on that. Bo Nix, and it's really important to remember, Bo Nix is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as far as his home stats and his away stats. I'm going to give you his numbers at home because this game is in Auburn. It is a 11 o'clock Central Time kickoff. That's also important. Bo Nix at home has completed 68 out of 105 pass attempts. That's about 65%, 940 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 1 interception. If he is able to replicate those numbers against Texas A&M, he gives Auburn an excellent chance of staying in this ball game. And if Kellen Mond reverts back to what we saw last week, Auburn could actually upset Texas A&M in this ball game. A&M needs to win as they come in ranked number 5 in the college football playoffs. Their hopes of getting into the playoffs are slim, but they cannot afford a loss in this ball game against Auburn. Expect this game to be a one possession ball game, and depending on the health of Tank Bigsby, I'm gonna right now give a slight lean to Texas A&M, but check our podcast out here at Crunch Time Sports Advantage, as we'll release that Friday morning, and then we'll do an update podcast on Saturday, giving you our predictions, our final predictions and thoughts for that ball game.